Last night on Gab, I mentioned that I went through all of my alternative social media and I looked at the analytics for how I'm doing with this, and none of them move the needle for me whatsoever, either on my Kickstarter campaign or via the YouTube content, which is where I'm making revenue also. And because of that, I'm pretty much dropping everything except for Gab, and that's interesting to look at this. This is the only non-dead platform that I can see. And of course, you're welcome to disagree with this. And I'm just showing my experiences and what's going on in social media. And the reason I'm looking at this stuff is because Ripa is making a huge, huge wave, obviously, by directing traffic to his own website for his comic book. Now, I'm looking at alternatives, looking at things like that, because I don't like using these companies. I'm just like you. But the unfortunate reality is that we almost have to, because even the conservative audience is on these social media platforms, the big ones, not the alternatives, as much as people like to talk about them. I get that comment a lot from people. Why aren't you on this website? Why aren't you on this website? Why are you doing this on YouTube and all that? And I'm going to show you why in just a second. All right. Who am I? I am John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator. I've been making my own content for years. And so I've got 43 comics out, 17 novels. Overmind is my latest pre-order. This is a wonderful science fiction epic, beautiful art, the great storytelling, actually that warns about the dangers of social media if you want to get into it. So that is in the description below. Please grab that link. And as you can see, we did very well on this campaign. $33,890. We made a little more than $3,000 on top of this on BackerKit. Now BackerKit doesn't have the little run up the score tracker that kind of shows how much it is, but it's still going. So, but again, the main came from a big website, Kickstarter. BackerKit does a little less because people aren't searching on BackerKit, and that's what it comes down to. Is the main majority of people are searching on YouTube, they're searching on Twitter, they're searching on Kickstarter. And I'm going to show some of my back-end analytics right now. So I was looking yesterday, I was just trying to figure out, like, is it worth my time to go, like, post on Minds, Parler, Truth, Getter, all of these websites that are out there, and is it worth it to keep going, or is it better just to use my Twitter and my Facebook and all that? And as much as Twitter and Facebook really suck, they've got some algorithms now that make it difficult. You kind of have to trick their algorithms into letting people see your content because they are trying to suppress us. They are trying to harm our independent movements, and it sucks. But as much as that's the case, a lot of my revenue and a lot of my clicks do still come from there. And that's what gets interesting on this stuff. So if you just go to my Kickstarter real quick, and you can look at all the tracking, the funding progress. Here it goes. I'm showing some of the behind the scenes sauce here. Direct traffic, no referrer information. So this kind of stuff right here is like, this comes from my my email list. This comes from people just going on there. Sometimes I think on Kickstarter, because I don't see Gab on Kickstarter, I think a few come from Gab also because, and I need to get better at this. Like next time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a referral link on Kickstarter directly for Gab to kind of show this a little better. But I don't see Gab on this referral list, and I know some people backed it because they told me in DM that they were backing it from Gab. So I think that I think a couple things got mixed in there. But if you look at it, the next biggest one after that, after no referral information, is YouTube. I made $4,000 directly from YouTube. And the reason everybody goes, why don't you use Minds or Odyssey or whatever, Rumble as much? And I do. But if you look at this, YouTube really is the big winner for what's useful for a media platform. People are searching on YouTube all day long, and they want to buy alternative content. They want different comics from the mainstream industry. They actually want conservative creators to succeed on there, which is bizarre. Obviously, the corporation doesn't, but the people, that's who matters. They're on there. Next, we go down. There's some random stuff here, which is different, and it comes from Kickstarter mostly. Twitter's my next most useful sort of platform. Which is crazy. Again, Twitter suppresses me. I know this. I know I've been shadow banned. People tell me, like, I haven't seen your posts in months. But look at it. I got 27 sales from it. I've got over $1,300 in sales from Twitter just from this. You go down, we got Google search. Again, you wouldn't expect me to be doing it on Google so much. Facebook is up there too. These are my top referrers. It's YouTube, Google, and Facebook. Now, that's bizarre to me. Now, I looked at this and I'm like, Huh. You would have thought that like my social media platforms, my other ones, like the alternatives would have done something here, but not so much. So I went through my entire list here. Minds isn't on here. Getter's not on here. MeWe's not on here. Nothing's on here. Rumble and Odyssey didn't make it on here. None of those seem to move the needle whatsoever for my comic book sales, and that's a big deal to me. I mean, I'm trying to make a living here off of my writing, and those social platforms that are supposed to be alternatives aren't being used by our customers. That's crazy. Now this was a shock to me. I expected it to be vastly different. So I go into YouTube because YouTube's a good source of revenue for me also, and I'm trying to see what if this matches up based on my Kickstarter. And guess what? It's very much a very similar thing. Obviously, YouTube has its own referral sources within the platform, and I'm in external sources now. So I went into external sources. The internal are vastly more. If you look at the overall traffic, I guess I got to refresh this to go back to that. Here we are. YouTube within its own ecosystem, browse features, YouTube search, huge. External actually is a pretty low percentage, only 5% of my traffic on my videos and all that, which of course then generates my subscribers, then generates my YouTube super chat revenue and all that. External is very low, very low. But of that 5%, where does this all come from? Again, it comes from Google up top. Another shocker. Twitter's my next most, right? Twitter's pretty big. Bounding into Comics, which is where I write for my website. They let me post my video links in the articles a lot of the time. They're a great news source. And then Facebook. And then YouTube. And then YouTube again. Then Discord. And you notice Gab comes up here. And again, this is my useful analytics. Gab is 1.3% of my external referral links, which is great. Thank you, Gab, friends. But again, you go down to the other websites. Here's Minds with just 8 clicks. Not very good. That's not really worth my time to be posting. You know, I post 2 videos a day, so that's posting at least 60 links a month over on a Minds. That's not that useful. These other ones aren't really being used. As you can see, I'm on Reddit. Like even Kiwi Farms, it's like almost as useful to post my links on Kiwi Farms, which I don't. I mean, somebody else did, obviously, which is a troll site, than to post it on mine. So it's interesting. And my analysis and conclusion of this is that, honestly, the conservatives, the people on the right, the people who want the mainstream culture to be changed are really not using these alternative social media platforms. They're going where the action is. The action's on Twitter because we can engage with the SJWs on Twitter, right? We can fight with them. We can dominate the social sphere there. And then, of course, we get suppressed by the company. But when we can't engage with them, we're not engaging with a lot of the people. There's not a lot of discourse on, say, Minds or MeWe or whatever. There's just nothing there. Like I said, Gab's the only difference. Gab's the only one that moved the needle whatsoever. And I'm looking at my other ones. Again, like if you look at Odyssey, you can see all my videos kind of automatically upload there. But like my videos get 500, 1,000, 2,000 views on YouTube. They're getting 17, 12, 25 on Odyssey. That's not very much. That's not really moving the needle so much. Again, none of this generated traffic towards my Kickstarter or anything like that either, which also is, you know, not a good thing. And Odyssey doesn't make me revenue off of ads for clicks or anything like that, so that's not very useful right there. You go to Rumble, very similar also. 5 views, 19 views, 4 views. And again, like this is not a revenue generating place. People get to maybe discover me here, a couple of them, but these sites aren't helping. And this is a very, very scary thing for me because like I want alternatives to succeed. I want something different out there. I want somewhere where people who don't hate me control these platforms. And I mentioned this the other day, like when I've done an experiment of putting my comics on my own website for sale versus Kickstarter, the comics on my own website sell about 1/10 of what they do on Kickstarter. A lot of people, when I launched my campaign, told me, don't use Kickstarter. They hate us, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that's where the customers are. Those are the people who are buying the comics. So this is a little inside sauce right here. These platforms are where conservatives are, because that's the only people who are backing me, let's be honest, even though they're suppressing us. Isn't that bizarre? What do you think about this? Is there a way forward for alternative platforms to win? Gab's been around since 2017. Like I said, it's the only one that seems to be moving and shaking and doing anything. The others just seem to come and go. They're like a flash in the pan. What do we do? Do we just stay here? I'm of the opinion that like I'll stay somewhere until they ban me. Personally, I'm just like, I'm gonna make them take that action. I'm gonna make them be the aggressor against me. And so far, that's been working very well. I've been winning for the most part. Indiegogo banned me because they're a bunch of idiots. We're in a lawsuit with them. Patreon banned me. And now I'm on Subscribestar. Everywhere where when I get banned, I actually do better on the next platform. But just leaving and self-segregating into these smaller websites that aren't really being used doesn't seem to work. And that's just my analysis. All right. Leave a comment down below with what you think. Are these platforms working for you at all? Are you getting any traction on alternatives? I'm interested to hear from you, of course. You guys are my life's blood here. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, don't forget to back Overmind. It's on BackerKit. This is direct traffic only goes to BackerKit because people don't search that site. And we're doing pretty well on it. All right. Talk to you guys soon.